So I feel like God wanted me to make this video. It has to do with offense. It has to do with, people rubbing you the wrong way. So many people out there, they're in different mature areas in their life. Some people have been through more experiences. They've gotten to know life. They've gotten to know people, the psychology. You can't treat a kid the same way you would treat an old person. The old person, they've been around the block. You can't manipulate. You can't use psychology. You can't lie to them. They can sniff it a mile away. So in this video, I felt like God wanted me to emphasize on the fact that people will always say different things to try to, they're coming from their angle. They're coming from their avenue, where they're at currently in their platform. I can't tell you how many things I've said that were, I put my foot in my mouth, and that was where I was at in that standpoint, and all throughout my life, you learn, you grow, you mature, you see things from a higher point of view. And then that gives you an advantage point of giving grace to other people from where they're at. I've put my foot in my mouth in the past, and I've said things that were inappropriate, things that were things that could have triggered other people, offended other people. And okay, I'll give you an example of something that happened to me on Sunday that is to me, it's silly, but to somebody else, they would be triggered by something like this. And that's why I'm making the video, because I felt the Lord is telling me to do this. So on Sunday, I was teaching Sunday school. And then some people were coming to my area, and I felt like they were putting stuff in storage. And the woman told the man, lock it up when you're done. And she emphasized on it a few times over. Lock it up when you're done. Lock it up. And I'm in the room. Nobody else is in the room except me. I know that there's people out there that would have taken offense to that. Would have said, lock it up. Oh, really? Like, they would have taken it personal. Almost like, lock it up. Kind of thing. For me, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bug me. Because I'm in a place where I'm more mature and I'm able to see where that person's at. That person can say whatever they want, and it just gives me insight on where they're at. Whether they're mentally ill, whether they're curious, whether they're paranoid, whether they're acting out of anxiety or fear or trauma, whether they're acting out from a place of, what is it that they're saying, and I can track it back to an event in their life, and that's why they're that way. Some people are obnoxious, they're rude, they're, and that's where they're at, and usually that's linked to darkness. Usually that's linked to, like not being able to be fruitful enough to understand how to treat other people, right? The fruit of treating somebody good and kind and generous and loving and compassionate usually comes from a trait of experiences of understanding what it's like to be down. I have humility, I have a humbleness, not because I was born this way. I used to be very prideful. But I'm humble and I'm humility now because I've been broken down. I've been in the slumps. I've been down in the pit. I know what it's like to be overlooked. I know what it's like to be forgotten or left behind or nameless. Like nobody, like I exist, but nobody sees me. My tag used to be in the streets, ghost, for that very reason. I used to go by ghost because I felt like I was a ghost. Now, take that, then save somebody like that. Like, God did. Forgive, clean me up. But I carry that in my heart now. And I understand when I see somebody that's poor or down, I'm like, dude, I know how it feels to be down there. It sucks. What can I do for you? But somebody that has been raised in a mansion their whole life, spoon-fed with a golden spoon, and never lacked a thing in their life, they look down on that person. They say things like, get a job, you lazy piece of crap, and this and that. And they're coming from a place, first of all, they're probably demon possessed, I'm going to be honest. I say that because the treatment is so vile that there's probably a spirit there, depending on how far they take it. You heard of people beating up the homeless and all this. Like, that's a demon for sure. But you take the treatment, just in just looking at that person, you can tell where they're at, where they gauge. So then you have an option. You can like educate that person, or you can, as the world puts it, fight fire with fire. Like, meet them where they're at. Let's get at it. Let's fight. Why? Because you said this and now I'm going to retaliate. Jesus told us to turn the other cheek because, things like Jesus said, like, forgive them for they know not what they do. Emphasizing on the fact that they're living, but their mind is blank, bro. And they're lollygagging through life and they're making mistakes. They're tripping over their own feet a lot of the time. They can't turn. The Bible puts it like this. They can't tell their left hand from their right hand, yet you want them to treat you a certain type of way. You want them to respect you. You want them to pay you back what they owe you in that loan. Their maturity level is not there. They can't clean up their own room. They can't respect their own parents, and you're going to hold them in a level of status that it takes a real a person of status, of reputation, that's gone through some kind of process to be able to see that, you know what, I'm going to pay you back. I'm going to pay you back with interest, or I'm going to, show you like who I am on the inside, my value. Like, it's not about like, I'll pay you back because if you don't, you're going to hunt me down. No, it's like I'm a man of my word. I'll give you an example. I made a deal with a gentleman. Now, this guy's my mechanic. The mechanic, he's not saved. I'm working on him. He's not saved yet. Made some deals. Sold him some stuff that I had in my backyard that he could use. Tools and stuff like that I don't use. I had a pressure washer and I had other things. And then we made deals on it. I gave him a great deal, right? And I sold him my bounce house. I had a bounce house. I don't use it for my kids anymore. It was a business that I was starting back in the day and never took off. And my pressure washer, it was a business I started and never, stuff like that. Just, it didn't go anywhere. And I had it there sitting and you know what? Hey, you can put it to use. I'll sell it to you. So I sold them a package deal. A bulk, all package deal, this, and this for X amount. Right? So I'll tell you the amount. It was $1,500 for everything. It was $650 for the pressure washer. Great deal, because the pressure washer came with all its accessories and all of that. And it was way more than that. But I was hooking him up. So then we shook on it. No contract. Man to man, bro. Like, look at me in the eye. You gonna pay me? I got you, bro. All right. Step number one. Point number one. Me, personally. I'm shaking that man's hand, understanding full well that this man might not pay me back. And that I'm okay with him not paying me back. I'm okay with letting go of this. Because I look at it like, you know what? Live your life, bro. Live your life. I wish you the best. I desire you the best. I hope that business is successful for you, whether you pay me or you don't pay me. Because I'm not attached to these things. These things are not attached to me. I'm not thriving because of these things. God is my shepherd. He is my provider. He sees my heart, not people. So I'm giving this person on his word that he's going to pay me back. But behind the scenes, in my mind and in my heart, I'm shaking this man's hand, understanding that there's a monstrosity amount of people out there that don't pay, that tell you yeah, and then they don't. And I'm understanding with wisdom that this might be one of those situations. And I'm okay with it. So I already have the whole scenery mapped out. I'm at point Z. And we're shaking hands on point A. I've mapped it out. I've looked at the horizon. I've seen all the things that could go right. And I've seen all the things that could go wrong. And I'm okay with everything. And I said, okay, take it for this amount. $1,500. We agreed upon $1,500 for a bulk deal. And he was going to buy a variety of different things. He took the pressure washer. He took the bounce house. He took some other stuff there. And I was going to hook him up with a paint sprayer and all kinds of stuff. Because I had a business. And it never took off. So I was just like, here, take it. I'm just going to hook you up. Maybe it'll work for you. So then, it was like a week later. He had given me but a couple $100. And I didn't want to bother him. I didn't want to call him. I didn't want to put pressure on him. I'll send him subliminal messages here and there saying, hey, how's it going? But I didn't want to put too much pressure, to make him feel like anything, right? Well, long story short, he gives me back my bounce house. He gives me back the sprayer. He keeps the pressure cleaner for $650. Now, it was a $1,500 deal, but everything kind of fell through the cracks, and it was one of those things that I understood that it could have turned into something. If I was worldly, I'd be like, nah, man, no deal, bro. You took it. I don't want it back. I could have told him, I could have told him so many things, like, we made a deal on $1,500, not $650. What's up? That's not cool. Like, I could have told him all this stuff and stuck to my guns and made it to the point where it could have became a drama fest. It could have became a fight. It could have became something worse than that. He came at me. He said, you know what, man? I made this deal with you, but I'm low on money, bro, and I'm not going to be able to pay you the rest. This is what I'm able to afford, and this is what I could do. All right, guys. So this is where the lesson of the story comes into play. Maturity, wisdom, and understanding have to play a role in life. Otherwise, you're going to break relationships apart. This is, first of all, a mechanic. That he's really good. He's fair in his price. Comes to me whenever I have a problem. Do I want to ruin that relationship over something that he can't afford? That's wisdom number one. Right? Like, you have to look at all the contributions, whether I contribute to him or he does to me, or the overall. Whether you're looking at it from a spiritual aspect of, I want to win his soul with love, with grace. There's so many different angles to look at this from. But somebody that's short-sighted, you're nearsighted, they're just like, well, no, I want my money. And it's so shallow and immature and kid-like that it's like, do. Step back, bro. Like, there's so much more here at play that has nothing to, money comes, money goes, bro. That's how it is. Don't worry about that, And we were able to shake on it. No harm, no foul. And that's it, bro. Like, it was a done deal. Like, everything's good. Water under the bridge, bro. And that's a scenario or a situation. Same thing that happened at church. It's like, lock it up. You know what I did? I laughed. It's just like, my mentality was, this lady must have been jacked in her life so many times that she's just like on that paranoid, like, lock it up. Like, like, I'm like, dude, I'm sorry that, that happened to you. I can tell that you have trauma. And again, I can recognize people would be like, oh, it's because I'm Latin, or it's because I'm black, or it's because of this, it's because of that. And people could take offense and they could feel a certain type of way. It's because I'm a man, it's because I'm this. Like, how many people are so sensitive nowadays? It's because, they put their little, it's because of this. That's why you're doing that. It's like, no, man. Listen, understand something, okay? It's like, people are where they're at, and they're speaking from their and your job, if you're a Christian, is to verify where they're at and counsel them if there need be. Maybe counsel, maybe edify, maybe teach, maybe bless, maybe give grace, maybe forgive, maybe have mercy, whatever. But apply those fruits and not like, okay, I got you. You're going to treat me like that? Okay. All right. I remember you. Like, So understand the fruit, because the fruit is very important, because God looks at the fruit, right? And one leads to hope and success and light, and the other one leads to just brokenness and despair and darkness. It's just, there's no fruit there, man. So yeah, let's just keep this video nice and short and simple. But to the people out there, man, can I just say this, man? Like, teenagers and young adults, man. Like, life is not all about you. I know you think it is. I know that you think that the world revolves around you and everything is about you. Every time somebody does something, it's about you. Or doesn't do it, it's about you. It's not like that, man. I've seen videos of people like walking through the gym and oh, you walked right in front of my camera. Like, it's like they're not paying attention to your camera. They're not paying attention to you. Like, everybody is very self-consumed, thinking about themselves, thinking about just whatever, right? But people seem to think that it's like life around, and that is the point that God wants to get to and extract that from everybody, and forget about yourself, man, because God's got you. God's gonna take care of you. But forget about yourself in the way of making life all about you, and start looking with your eyes to see who's right in front of you crying out for help. A silent cry. A silent cry. That their eyes are just thinking of suicide, thinking of depression. Like, you could just tell they're out of it. They're out of it. It's like, yeah. Like, if you're not self-consumed, you would see that and be like, hey, are you okay? Is there anything I could do for you? Yeah, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because those things, they make a difference, bro. And that's why we're here on earth. It's to serve one another, love one another, help one another, hope, and exalt our relationship with the Lord. So don't make life all about you. Hopefully you get something out of it.